This is C3. No. Oh, that's an F. I knew it was close. Wow, that's an F. It's in key. I'll be goddamn. I'll be goddamn. Well, I'll be goddamn. Satisfied with it. This is a cool lo-fi beat. This lo-fi.
Come check out owlsherbs.com, where we have all of your herbal needs and different variety of products, from sea moss to black seed oil, and a different variety of products for different health issues, because your health is your wealth. What's going on? What's going on this Friday evening? TGIF, thank God it's Friday. This was a rough one for me. It's just kind of rough. I don't know necessarily, is it cosmic related or just, I don't know, just just a rough overall week. I don't know, but it's definitely one of the weeks that I couldn't wait to get to the end of. I learned quite a bit this week. Learned pretty. This is probably one of those weeks where I learned quite a bit. I accomplished quite a bit. I finished my my IT course. Finished that up. um got that finished up, and now I'm just kind of reflecting on some things. This last week was like basically a reflection on kind of where I look at where my weaknesses are. I'm looking at my weaknesses. I'm looking at things that I possibly can work on. Um, I listened to different discussions on like marketing, startups. Like Harvard has a lot of free lectures on business and startups. Just in case you didn't know that, they got a lot of people that are like venture capitalists and stuff like that that talk about different concepts when it comes to startups. Um, things that talks of just basically they have discussions about business. And the thing about what one of the things I'll say about business is that you hear people talk about business that never had a business. Okay, they never had a business, but they're more of an expert than somebody like myself that has had an actual business.
Stop the cap.
So it's like literally just because somebody has a YouTube page and by proxy of them being put on the spot with somebody coming on their YouTube page in order to defend themselves in their YouTube channel, they will come off like they're expert in something that they have no expertise in. Did y'all notice that shit? Like it could be, for example, it could be somebody like literally like lives in Portland, Oregon, and somebody will be talking about something that happened in Portland, Oregon, and no, you will come on and be like, "No, man, no, that's not how that goes down in Portland. Portland, I lived there. I've lived there for 30 years." And then the person will be just like, "Man, you don't know what you're talking about, man. I heard." Like they only have what they heard in what they saw a little 10 to 15 to 30-minute clip of a video of what is actually going on in Portland. But by proxy of them not wanting to be wrong, everybody got to be right all the time. They just basically they come off as if they hold their expertise over somebody that actually lives in Portland. It is some odd shit. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is mental illness. That's that's mental illness. That's literally a sign of mental ill. Yes, it is people that have unchecked. Man, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna keep it all the way 100, man. Social media is a treasure trove of people that are hiding the fact that they're mentally fucking ill. I'm gonna just go all the way, and you can see you can see them like you like.
Nigga, did you know that I can see you?
Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I'm gonna be honest with you. That's why I just keep it real, man. I try my best, and that's one of the things that I wrote down. Like, I'm too personable. I think I'm way too personable. You know what I'm saying? Now it is some people that's more personable than I am, but it's very few people probably more personable than I am. But I'm very personable.
Because at the end of the day, this is the way I look at things. I know I'm still a bad motherfucker. I got a lot of qualities that are positive. So the positive overrides anything that, may be a weakness or a negative quality. So I really don't care, too much. And I really, to be honest, at the end of the day, I don't really try to please men because I don't have sex with men. So that's really like the only thing maybe a woman could probably try to come at me, but at the end of the day, um, I mean, my head has already been blown up like 20 years ago, and I mean, the times of my life, my head was blown up as far as women is concerned. I was in basically base shit, man. My head was blown in high school. You know what I'm saying? As soon as man, as soon as I used to play basketball and shit on like just like around my neighborhood, and then some guys moved in from Chicago, and I started hanging with them. A couple of my homies and stuff that he was like part of the chess club, and what I'm saying, he was like smooth with women because his dad was a dope dealer and kind of like a Mac. He was like a Mac, but this was the tripped out thing about his father, man. And it kind of relates to being able to talk to women and getting what you want out of women, and kind of extracting more value out of women, because that's one of the things I'll say that why people keep talking about this simp stuff, right? This simp thing, simp, right? uh Steve Harvey, pretty much, I did a video about simps like I think about a year ago, close to a year ago. And what Steve Harvey is like I broke simps down to like a army, like a chain of command. So what Steve Harvey is a simp commander. Okay, he leads an army of simps. So when he speaks, all the other simps listen, right? So, basically, when it comes to the simp, he's giving more value than what he's getting in return, you know. And the thing is that when I talking about my one of my homies in high school, um, his dad was not attractive. He was morbidly obese. He was bigger than Notorious B.I.G. He was huge. He had like health problems and whatnot. But I mean, he had women, man. It wasn't he didn't have like attractive women, but I mean, he had like a whole bunch of women, man. He's so dope, just dope dealer. And of course, he was married to their mother, and I mean, that's how he learned how to kind of mac up on women too. I learned a little bit from him, and I learned some good and some bad. But the thing is that I ain't necessarily try to 100% mimic anybody. You know, the thing is that yeah, we did have a falling out quite a few times, and yeah, I seen basically at an early age that it's not so much women ain't shit, but you don't need a lot of money to get very good, high quality, high caliber women. I knew that at an early age. I'm talking like 16, 17 years old. Like you don't need a lot of money. You really need the confidence and the ability to actually just approach and talk to a woman without the fear of rejection. Now, I'm gonna tell you, I am not necessarily an expert in the fact in the art of rejection, of dealing with rejection. I used to tell Alan Roger Curry that. Like, that was one of the things about me. don't necessarily like rejection. But you know, he one of the things about my homie was that he didn't mind it. You know, he didn't necessarily like it either. I don't think he liked rejection either, but uh because it was times where by the time we got to college, it was women that chose me and did not choose him, and I don't think he really liked that shit. You know, he had his ways about him that was like kind of sneaky, but yeah, the thing is that he would pretty much approach more women than I know I would because he didn't really care about um getting rejected. He was a lot more confident in his approach, a lot more experience. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's kind of how I kind of learned how to approach women, how to be aggressive. Um, but saying all of that is basically to say that yeah, I mean he was able to get women that had money, had looks and everything like that. And he ain't necessarily ever been. He's still yet to this day. He ain't never been rich. He's never even probably made over $100,000. He might now, but I mean he was struggling and pulling baddies. You know what I'm saying? And I was too. I pulled some women that pretty much was very nice looking. Wasn't necessarily his experience because he had older brothers, cousins, and uncles that kind of taught him the ropes and stuff like that. I ain't necessarily have that. So I had to learn. I had to learn a lot of things through trial and error. But yeah, man, that's one of the things I'll say is that basically it's confidence. It's one of the major things is just not having a fear of rejection. That fear of rejection is really what kind of probably stops a lot of men in their tracks. That fear, that rejection. But I mean, to a certain degree, it comes to a whole where, in my opinion, it takes a little bit more than that. It takes a kind of like a certain level of patience and reserve to be able to get the woman that you absolutely want, right? Because if you really think about it, in my opinion, I think I chased after and wasted my time with women that I really didn't want, and I could have been going after what I really wanted. You know what I'm saying? Putting time into that versus just chasing any woman that's easy and able to, you know, basically give up their panties versus a woman that, maybe a more high caliber woman, a more prime woman that, less that has less baggage. But yeah, I just wanted to come up and talk because um thus again, I mean, I ain't really see nothing. I didn't really see anything that I wanted to listen to. And I'll be honest, like a lot of times what I hear people talking about is just it's really just lame discussions in my opinion. It's like just it's based off of theory and relationships and stuff like that. And it's like, man, it's really, let's just say the black community first, for example. The black community don't really we do have relationship problems, but we have bigger problems than relationships. We have way bigger problems than relationships. One of those major problems that we have is that, like I said, we don't have a lot of wealth, concentrated wealth. That's one of our biggest issues. It's more bigger than actual relationships per se. It's not saying that, okay, let's just say if we had a whole bunch of money overnight, yeah, we do have problems as far as mindset and the way that we, both men and women, talk to each other, treat each other. Um, Self hatred, external hatred towards others that have the same cultural background as you. I mean, those issues will still persist, and it goes to a question going back to money and relationships. Money does not money is not going to make a woman get on your team, or having paying all of the bills and all that. That's not going to impress a woman that basically is unworthy of impressing, right? So, for example, what I'm saying is, like, if you get with a woman that doesn't like follow everything you do, she doesn't follow your lead, she's argumentative, she's like these women here. If you get with these types of women here, and you just come in with some, like, okay, Steve Harvey stuff, right? Let's play Steve Harvey's latest clip. You know, that must be some AI, man. I don't know what the hell that shit is, but I'm about to go there. Let's see what Steve Harvey talking about now. Yeah, here we go. So this is what Steve Harvey is talking about now. So you listen to Steve Harvey and you get one of these types of women, right? This is where this is where this is undeserving of what he's talking about. And he's speaking in general. This is what people do. They speak in generality, and it's just dumb. Because this doesn't apply for everybody.
Doesn't make any sense. If a man asks you out and he's not willing to buy you a plate of food, how can you possibly think that this guy can take care of a family?
It is not that big of a deal. It is absolutely not that big of a deal. When I met my ex-wife at Starbucks, me meeting up my ex-wife at Starbucks and getting a coffee or whatever the fuck, I don't remember what she got. It still didn't mean I couldn't take care of, my future kids and the kids that she already had. Has nothing to do with a fucking plate. This is dumb herd logic. This is that herd logic, and people actually love that shit. And people that actually even smart, because they just want things to fit their certain narrative. They eat this shit up, and it's herd. It's herd logic. It does not equate to the real world. Does not all add up. One of the things about somebody from another country that the reason why they want to come over to America, one of the things about America that is a good thing, other than modern plumbing and modern sewage systems, water, sanitation technology, is that food is not necessarily an issue in this country. We don't have a food issue. Meaning, you can go get enough food that you possibly want. If you are actually poor, you can get welfare and get free food. They got food banks all over America. You just go there, line up outside, and they basically get food from restaurants. I mean, hell, if you really, really love food so much, guess what? Like, it's people that they do what is called dumpster dive. They go into dumpsters in like grocery stores and restaurants, and they throw out food. And the food is still pretty perishable, meaning it's still able to be eaten. Now some people are into that. Some people are into that, and they don't have a problem, you know what I'm saying, by going in the dumpster and getting old, food or food that is being thrown out. We just, you know what I'm saying, like even homeless people, you be like, they be like, I need help or whatever. They not talking about food. They want some money. And to be honest, this is what one of my homies told me. Like he went to like somewhere in Saudi Arabia or somewhere. Like they have, like, okay, in this country, a lot of our homeless are the combination of both or one or the other, mentally ill and or on a serious narcotic such as crack cocaine, methamphetamine, fentanyl now, heroin with fentanyl, and they're basically begging so they can get high. Matter of fact, if I was a detective, right, which I'm not a detective because, you know, I don't know. I've already talked about that. But if I was a detective, I would put an air tag on the dope fiends in the neighborhood, because the dope fiends stay near where the drugs are. It's real common sense. Anywhere where you see somebody begging and there's a whole bunch of people begging, is a dope spot nearby. It's literally a dope spot nearby. So I would just get somebody, give it, dope fiend. In Chicago it gets cold like 6 to 7 months out the year. I just give out free coats. And then I, like, if I was a DEA agent, I would just hand out free coats. And then they basically gonna go to the dope spot. They gonna go to the dope spot and then get their dope. And then there you go. You find out what the dope is, because they gonna lead you right there. Because basically, yeah, in this country, the homeless primarily are primarily their own dope or just some type of heavy narcotic, or they have some type of mental issues. Now, that is not the case for all homeless people. Okay. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, if you living in if you living in a car or living in an RV somewhere or sleeping in a parking lot in a 24-hour Walmart or whatever, and you know what I'm saying, you just for 6 months to less than a year or whatever, you having tough times, you can't afford to pay for no hotel, you can't necessarily make it to the shelter in time, whatever the case may be. I understand you don't want to be a hobosexual, to some undesirable fat chick. I get it. Like, yeah, those people are not on no drugs or not necessarily even have any mental issues. It just, you know, a lot of times people just don't value money. And it sometimes, it takes a situation where you have to sleep in your car because you don't value money. You got to learn how to value money. You got to get stole on. sometimes you got to get stole on so you can value $1. You got to go through that. You got to go through that eviction, get all your stuff thrown out on the street, and have to go back and move into your mama's basement and sleep on the couch or something for you to realize that, basically, I need to start saving some money. I need to start creating a budget. You might even have to sleep outside a day or two. Who knows? Whatever the case may be, whatever it takes for you to understand the value, the hardships and the value of $1 in this capitalistic system where a lot of people really don't care about you. And only you care about yourself, is going to bring you through that. Those situations happen to where you have to realize the value of basically saving your money, just basically the basics of financial personal finance. Okay, saving your money, creating a budget, living within that budget, and controlling your expenses. Those will be like the basics of personal finance. Some people have to learn those things the hard way. Some people get it at a very, very early age and they maintain it and they hold on to it. Some people have to get, like I said, they got to go through hardship. They got to, they got to get homeless real quick. And in those cases, yeah, they're not necessarily, doped out or, basically, talking to themselves and have a severe mental illness. But it's quite a few homeless people, individuals that they do have those problems. Now, one of my friends that went to Saudi Arabia, he said that it was just like people that were homeless, that they were really, really homeless. It wasn't they were smoking crack or on drugs or nothing like that. These people were living in abject poverty. They just that's where they fared in life, and they kind of stuck there, right? So there's differences and nuances to people that are necessarily homeless in other countries and in poverty in other countries versus in this country, because with the little momentum you can improve your situation. I mean, you don't necessarily you can kind of even somewhat be a slacker and still slack your way to $100,000 a year or even $50,000 a year, with minimal effort other than just, you have to wake up every day and go to work. I mean, but it's like, if you actually take things further and be more productive and, kind of manage things a lot better, you can make even more money, right? But the thing is that yeah, food is not necessarily an indicator of you being, this is not freaking Africa where you have to be able to go to the market and buy food, and a lot of people are unemployed. This is not this that doesn't no that's not it's not necessarily the case. But let's continue on with what Steve is yapping about.
Doesn't make any sense. It don't make no sense. You can't feed me, but we finna go somewhere and have some kids. Only reason we walk over to you.
That was what you call a hard edit. Whoever edited this video or whatever. But no, that's not necessarily the case, Steve. No, that just because you can't or don't want to spend, all of the paycheck of your paycheck on a plate of food on somebody on a stranger, a stranger, right? Or spend a whole bunch of money or do anything but the opposite of going Dutch. Going Dutch, right? Just because you don't want to go Dutch does not mean that you cannot afford to take care of future children. That is not an indicator whatsoever. That's just something that's just blown up out of proportion and just, doesn't really add up. But it's so many people that they believe that. They absolutely believe that shit. And they, clap and cheer. And those people follow the herd. Those are those herd type people. They don't really, really have to operate off of, deep logic or even medium logic. Just, if it sounds good, yeah, just start clapping. But no, that's going Dutch is pretty standard dating practice in America. Because here's the thing. Really, to be honest, it's not even so much Dutch. Some women be like, no, I'm not meeting you at a coffee shop, right? If my ex-wife did that, I mean, she say, oh no, I'm not meeting you at the coffee shop. I wouldn't have the children I have. I wouldn't have my 2 daughters. She wouldn't have had all the experiences. And I mean, basically, not only did I buy my children food, I bought her children food. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like a freaking date. It's not necessarily a meal. Not going Dutch is not an indicator of you being able to, in the future, be financially responsible. No, Steve, that's not how that works. That's not how that works. But, like I say, people dumb, so they gonna believe that shit.
When we start talking to you, it's because you have something we want. It's the only reason. We walk over to you because we see something we want. Our job as men is to go over there and see what it's going to cost us to get what we want.
Well, that's that. Okay, I got it. Yeah, I'll be your sugar daddy. I'll be your sugar daddy. I'll be your sugar mama. Yeah, that's that sugar daddy shit. Steve want us all to be sugar daddies, man. Steve want us to be sugar daddies, which this is what Steve want us basically coming in the club. He want us coming in the club, man, and rocking having a sugar daddy in our mouth. This is what Steve Harvey want us all to be. He want us to rock one of these in our mouth when we coming in the club. Just walk through the mall, just hold a sugar daddy in our mouth. Just let everybody know. Just and just, what I'm saying, lead a rapper on. Just holding it. Just, what I'm saying, just hell, just fuck it. Just make a sugar daddy chain. Walk around with a sugar daddy tied to some jewelry. Watch somebody go out and do that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody make jewelry they gonna make a sugar daddy chain. People forgot about the sugar daddies, man. See, this candy, this some old school candy right here. Sugar daddy. Yeah, Steve Harvey want us all to be sugar daddies, basically. That's what he wants. He wants us to buy women and be sugar daddies. When women are not. I'll tell you this. As a man that's been with quite a bit of women in my life, money, especially in this country, because it's a very wealthy country as well. I ain't gonna say women don't care about money, but money ain't the main motivator when it comes to women. It's not. It's not the main motivator. I mean, you can use money to obviously get sexual access from women. Obviously, that's old. That's old as pie. Using money to get sexual access from women. Okay, yeah, you can do that, but that's not going to make them happy. It's not going to make them flushed and satisfied. That is not going, even what they absolutely want, which is money, which is a man with money and all of that. They're still not satisfied with that. I ain't about to show no examples. We all know the examples. Somebody get some headliner divorce happens every week. 52 weeks in a year. Every week somebody high profile divorce goes on the basically the blog circuits every week. Somebody that's rich, guy's rich, the woman, she came up off the guy, or she already had some money, or she was rich too. They filed divorce. If money kept women, then all the men that had money, they would have no issues with their women. They would not have they women would just be at home, happy as pie, eating pie. They have problems too. They're having issues just like a broke dude. Well, I ain't gonna say just like a broke dude, but they're having issues as well with trying to basically deal with the aftermath of a divorce or being single, whatever. And the guys that I'm talking about are billionaires. These are billionaires that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about millionaires. I'm talking about billionaires. So, I mean, it's like, if you really think that money is the ultimate source of keeping women happy, keeping them satisfied, you go there, stay in that. Keep that focus, keep that energy. That's fine. That's fine for you. That works for you. That's fine. I'm just saying, I'm not gonna listen to you because I already know. It's too many real world examples. It's too many examples of what I've experienced. I used to shower money and pay this bill and make sure I do that. It does not satisfy women. Money is not a satisfaction tool. go get something, whatever. I don't care if it's a car, a piece of jewelry. And it doesn't even matter about subprime or prime. It just money is not going to make anybody satisfied because it's not nothing that um it's not natural to the sense where that's what really somebody wants. Especially even women are no exception. Women will be satisfied with the house and the money and everything like that, but they'll deal with it. I'm sure they'll deal with it. They'll even probably, you got some women that they'll deal with it to the grave. They'll go to the grave, being okay with it and just making their bed with their wealthy husband. Yeah, it's some women, and then it's some women that just say they won't be satisfied with it. They'll be like, man, fuck this shit, I'm out. Because money doesn't satisfy women. Even penis, even good sex don't satisfy women. I would say good sex will keep a woman for a long time, probably more than money, or get them to act right for a certain amount of time, but it ain't even good sex is not going to necessarily satisfy a woman. So money is not satisfactory. Good sex is not satisfactory. And it's like, okay, well, what is the golden ticket? What is the golden ticket? Not giving a fuck, in my opinion, about trying to satisfy no damn woman. I mean, what the fuck? Like, at the end of the day, shit, you got yours. If a woman wants to join your team, she's gonna join your team. And if you got ground rules that, basically once you join this team, basically, I got my rules. These are my rules. It's basically kind of like basically, it's not even kind of like, it's like you're a boss. If you're a boss, basically she's the junior boss, or she's your coworker. In order for her to keep her job or get her job, she has to be qualified, right? Qualified, and then she has a scope of duties that she has to do to keep her job. She's knowing the things that she don't do, she knows absolutely she's going to get fired. Oh, okay, I stopped doing this. I stopped doing this. I'm fucking up. She knows basically, you ain't even got to tell her, well, you about to get fired. And you about to get fired. She knows she's about to get fired. I mean, that is something that I'll say that works. And that's the way I kind of look at it. Free 99 advice. But when it comes to people, when it comes to certain people don't the problem is that people don't value your advice. Some people value it, but some people they don't necessarily value your advice because they have their own arrogance or uh, everybody has some type of supremacist. Everybody's a supremacist amongst themselves. They categorize other people that might be above them, and then other people below them. Most people feel people are below them. They'll, you know, oh, it's something about this guy, whatever, I'm better than this guy, so I won't listen to him. And that's fine. I mean, that's good and well. That's, everybody does that. Even me, I categorize people just like that as well. But at the same time, I mean, it's like, okay, be careful who put in that box. Because you might have made an error in judgment. You might have made an error in judgment, because sometimes people give good advice, and it's not like they are giving bad advice or something. It's just they might not be able to act on that advice. They might be too old to act on that advice, or they might have been aged out of that advice. It's not like if you listen to somebody that's in their 60s, they might not necessarily go to the club. They might not necessarily be trying to start a family or something like that, but they've already had a family or two. They've had a couple relationships, maybe a couple marriages, and they've had a couple families that they've started or joined or whatever. Just because they might not be in a relationship or whatever, don't make what they say is bad advice. They've already done it. They ain't necessarily trying to do it again. I'll be honest. I mean, at my age, I do want to start another family, but I mean, I ain't necessarily if I can, I will. If I don't, I don't. I mean, it ain't not like something I'm trying to come out in the world and force. I'm not necessarily trying to force that. I got bigger fish to fry. I already have children. If the opportunity sees itself, okay, yeah, I will seize the moment. I will seize the day. But I ain't necessarily trying to rush out. Like I kind of had that mindset before I had children. I was like, man, I need to hurry up. And I don't necessarily say that was good advice. I think I had more time. I don't think I should have, necessarily rushed that. But it ain't necessarily about the rush, it's just about the mindset. It's the mindset, and it's the basically the understanding, of what's actually going on, what you should actually look for, things you should be taking serious. Those are the things I didn't have that I have now, and I've been pretty much giving it away for free, as far as trying to educate other men on how to basically choose better. Don't what I'm saying, don't follow these dopes. I've learned in hindsight. Yeah, I definitely learned in hindsight. I'm not ashamed to admit that I'm an expert after the fact. After a crash, I'm an expert. But you got some people that have never crashed, that never drove a vehicle or whatever plane, and they're experts by proxy of them never making a decision to drive the car, and I don't agree with that. I definitely don't agree with that. Even Alan Roger Curry, he said, I'm not gonna never say I'm a expert when it comes to marriage, because he didn't get married to like what 3 years before he died, right? So I mean, you got people that actually they say they're experts when it comes to even certain things they've never even done. But it is what it is. I mean, a lot of times I sometimes just kind of listen to people as well as like entertainment. If you're listening to me for entertainment, I mean that's cool. I really don't have no problems with that. Sometimes, yeah, I listen to people with entertainment. Like, I mean, I listen to Sergeant Willie Pete, man. Back like a long time ago, I remember listening to Sergeant Willie Pete. And a lot of it is entertaining. I'm gonna be honest with you. And it's kind of fucked up. It kind of goes dark. It gets really, really dark when it comes to it, because it's like basically I'm basically describing things as I'm basically telling you I'm really wicked. That's what I'm telling you. I'm really disclosing my wickedry, because I'm listening to a man that is very eloquent, very intelligent, just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. Damn, that must have been him listening, because I had one person that was an eyeball and then they went away. Basically, I mean, just talk and talk and talk. And I mean, he's breaking shit down very good, but then basically, he's not living his life. He's living his life, but he's getting older and older and older and older and older and older. Then it's like, okay, yeah, as men, we do have more time to, wait as far as, actually starting a family. That is our gift. But it's like, man, dude, get the fucking best woman you fucking can. And goddamn it, you know what I'm saying? Like, fucking goddamn it, stick your dick in the pussy, like, and just shut the fuck up, and then goddamn it, make your bed and lie in it. Like, I mean, it's like, I mean, I ain't trying to, you know what I'm saying, like, say just choose anybody. I mean, get your passport, go fucking overseas, go somewhere where you like the women there. If you wanna just leave them over there, you can leave them over there. If you don't want to do that, pick the fucking best woman that you fucking can in the United States and fucking blow up already. Like, I mean, those are your two choices. Or yeah, you could just not engage whatsoever. I mean, you have the option to do whatever the hell you want, but I mean, yeah, I when the wickedry of what I'm saying is that I listen to certain people as entertainment, and I know they absolutely are making indecisions. And it's like, dude, I mean, you literally listen to a certain extent. You listen to somebody saying intelligent things and breaking things down and rambling and shit like that. And at the end of the day, after all the rambling, after all the discussions, you either have to make a choice or not make a choice. And it's like it comes down to, like, basically, okay, well, you can keep doing this forever. I'm probably keep listening. I don't know. I mean, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, if you're listening to that and then you're not making the decision yourself, it's like, okay, well, join the club. the indecision club. And it's like, okay, well, that's fine, but I know I'm not the only one, and it's not. It's both men and women that are, breaking all of these like, cosmic, freaking just hard problems of society down, and all these different current events and all this shit. And it's like, at the end of the day, I mean, at 40, you're supposed to be, like I said, a grandpa or close to being a grandpa. You supposed to be going to, hiding quarters behind your son's ear or your daughter's ear, and then showing them a magic trick. Like, I mean, you supposed to be giving your kid, like, when I remember I used to go to my grandfather and ask for candy in his drawer. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was like probably in his 50s and shit, and I was like, 10 or 9 or something like that. I mean, it's like, I mean, at the end of the day, those are definitely going to be delayed. You won't even, that experience is going to be aged out. I mean, definitely going to be aged out. Because you're going to have a lot of grandparent, like what I call grandparent parents, where you having your first child at 40 and 45 and shit like that. Even, I mean, Alan Roger Curry, like I said, he was what, in his late 50s by the time he had his first child. And then unfortunately, only 3 years into actually being a father, and then it's pretty much he's gone. I mean, men, we got a lot of problems as far as like high blood pressure, diabetes, strokes, cancer, a lot of different issues, man. High cholesterol. I mean, what I'm saying, people it ain't like people are taking the Dr. Sabi diet and shit like that and trying to drink alkaline water, and I mean, what I'm saying, health buffs and health nuts and shit like that. I mean, let's face it, we eating this shit, sugar daddies, and we eating soul food, or take your soul food. We eating air fryers and shit, air fryer food. You know what I'm saying? And we normalizing being fat. People trying to normalize being fat and shit. Like, primarily the women are doing that. We plate gatherers, want to just keep eating and eating. You know what I'm saying? Till like it's no tomorrow. Like like another plate will answer all problems. And it's like, this is a recipe for disaster. I mean, where this is going. You seen you know you seen grandmama go out. You seen auntie Kim go out. You seen Uncle Leroy, how he went out. I mean, you see the same, what I'm saying, situation, and where this shit is going. Like, where this road is going. It's absolutely, where this is going. You have no, you know exactly where this road leads. You can't be oblivious to, all of the generational, issues, and why they have the problems they have. You've seen soul food. You seen them, go take Big Mama to the hospital, and then when Big Mama's in the hospital, after Big Mama passed away, they had to continued on the same diet that killed Big Mama. You've seen that shit. You know this is true. You can't say it's not true. You absolutely know where this goes, where this leads to. So yeah, I mean it is what it is.
Message.
So King Charles's coronation is tomorrow. Basically, King Charles, he's getting sworn in to be the next King of England. He's gonna be the oldest king to ascend the throne. In British monarch history. This is what they say. This is what they say about his coronation. Some of this stuff is quite interesting. So yeah, he's gonna be the oldest sovereign ever crowned in the British monarchy at age 74. So it says for the first time in 900 years, Charles broke with tradition and invited royalty from around the world to attend Saturday's ceremony. Damn, 900 years. Wow. It said the coronation will be all of the languages spoke across Britain. Since the split from Catholic Church in the 16th century, the British monarch has been the supreme governor of the Church of England. All previous coronations have traditionally been used to promote and defend the church. However, Charles has chosen to recognize all faiths during his coronation speech. So yeah, that's the thing. Like another thing is a lot of y'all don't know about history. And a lot of y'all wasn't told that history is like one of the most important subjects that you should know. Because history shapes the future a lot of times. And a lot of times people pull back from the past, you know, as a reference to the present. And the thing about it is that one of the bloodiest wars is let me see what that was. But it's basically the Protestants versus the Catholics. Protestants first versus the Catholics. And then the Three Kingdoms War. The Three Kingdoms War in China. The Jin dynasty versus the Han dynasty. But yeah, the Protestant and Catholic war. It was pretty bloody. Protestants versus the Catholics. Yep. That's why you have basically the rift between, I mean, it added to it. It was already a rift, but it added to it. So you had the Irish was devout Catholics. Then you got the English that, separated and started their own church, the Church of England. Then the Protestant Reformation, you know what I'm saying? All of this shit is relative, man. Because see, yeah, like, a lot of y'all follow y'all, you know what I'm saying, slave masters religion. So, you know what I'm saying, y'all fall in line with that, black people fall in line with that. You know what I'm saying? So it's all relative. So yeah, this is you know what I'm saying? I just came on here because I really don't. I mean, see, the thing is, I'm gonna keep it real. When it come down to this, like, it's not that many people on that are exceptional or that I can listen to live. You know, that are exceptional. I don't really like following the herd or listening to the herd. So I just be like, you know what? You know, I just go live because, you know I'm exceptional. So I'll just be my own. I'll be my own entertainment for the night. And then, you know what I'm saying, try to educate some people, you know what I'm saying, in the process. What's going on? All Abrahamic religions are the slave master's religion. Facts. Yep. True that. Yeah. I just, man, you know, it's like you know, the thing is that yeah, I just can't necessarily like I can't you know what I'm saying? I can't really follow the I can't I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like I never really you know, I can't do it, man. So every time, like if I got time, every time I'm just gonna go live. Like if I don't see if ain't nothing interesting, I'm just gonna go live. I'm just gonna fire up a live. Cause I already know, okay, I ain't the only one that don't want to listen to this boring ass shit. So same feedback loop. That relationship grift, that shit has a fucking timeline. I've been on YouTube for eons. I know that shit has a fucking timeline. Pretty soon, people get tired of that shit. They get tired of that shit, and then they gonna want either some new blood or they gonna want you to fucking do something else, talk about something else. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I get it. Yeah, I ain't shitty. Everybody making more money than me, but it's like shit. It don't mean that I gotta fucking talk about that shit all the time, especially like on some generality type shit. Like, you know, at least go in depth to it, you know. Like, I don't know, like I mean, it's just yeah, it's just boring. Like I'm trying to build mansions. I'm on some like I'm trying to build mansions and motherfucking pools and shit. I ain't worried about no goddamn relationships. Bitch, fall in line or get gone. Okay, you want to fall in line? Okay, fall in line. Shut the fuck up. You don't want to fall in line? Get the fuck out. Get to stepping. Get out. Don't slam the door. Get out of here. Beat it. Scram. I mean, it just like that. Like, I mean, what? Just imagine you go to your job, right? And then you start complaining. And they gonna fire your ass. he gonna have, they gonna let you go. It's like what you complain. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like I was working one job. Oh, what's going on, Iori? What's up, man? What's going on? You hear me? Oh, you gotta get your mic together.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
Hold on 1 sec. Well, I'm just setting my settings up right quick. So
Okay. I mean, I was just basically I was working a job. I remember, man, I had so many. What's going on?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Let me just make sure the speaker. All right, I got. Okay, this should work now. Say
Yeah,
something.
I hear you.
Okay, yeah. You're you're in my headphones now, so that's a good thing. Yeah, that's how I want.
Okay.
Yeah, bro. I mean, you said something about this space, man. Like, this space is a never-ending feedback loop, bro.
Yeah.
It's a never. Yeah. It's a never-ending feedback loop.
Yeah.
All right. It's trauma bonding.
Uh-huh.
It's you know the the women don't like us.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's white supremacy. It's
You could say it, black supremacy.
I mean, you know,
Yeah.
it is what it is. See, like, and don't get it twisted. I mean, I like all that stuff in the space, but it's like, look, after a while, man, like, y'all ain't telling me something I haven't heard before.
Right.
You know, in this space, especially.
Right.
Like, you know, I said something in the comments, man. Like, to be perfectly honest with you, we gotta go get our money and run to Utopia, wherever the hell it is, man. It's just,
right.
I'm just at that point. See, but the real issue is the people that really be talking like the real talk, like you or Real Deal Financial or Dollar Will. I mean, like, the amount of support you guys don't get is criminal. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, so y'all be talking about some stuff, you know, somebody talking about some pop culture shit or whatever. You know, some people be yelling and screaming for super chats and stuff. Like, I ain't gonna say who, but you know, I mean, that's what this space likes, man. You know, it's just look, and then you got all the game dudes, like all the, hey man, like, y'all don't need nothing but game and shit like that. Like, you know, the Manosphere 2.0 or 2.5. I call these people the Manosphere 2.5 people. They ain't Manosphere 2.0 or 3.0. They're 2.5. You know? Look,
well, I've been here. I've had different channels. My first channel was in 2008, and I was in my grandma's basement, and then I was making this was before live streams. I made videos. I think my first video was like, I had some Nikes and they had like a rainbow, and it was like, literally, I'm not making this up. I probably haven't told anybody this. My first video on YouTube, 2008, it was about my shoes, because I noticed that they started having like a rainbow revolution where they start making all of these clothings with rainbows in it. And I had some Nikes that was like really cheap. I was broker than broke. I had no concepts of like the millionaire savings plan. I bought these shoes, I think, for like $34. They were like Nike trainers, and they had like a rainbow pattern in them. And I made a YouTube video, was I like rainbows and I'm not gay. That was my first. That was my first YouTube video. That was like 2008. The channel, I'm pretty sure I deleted it. I'm not sure about it, but I'm pretty sure I deleted it. And then I made another channel in 2016. A coworker I used to work with, I used to be a teacher's assistant at an alternative school for kids with behavior problems and other like, you know, learning disabilities. He put me on the BGS. And then I made another channel, and that was called Solar Scholar. And I went through all kind of fucking shit in my personal life. I deleted that channel. Now I'm gonna tell you what's very interesting about the Solar Scholar. BGS knows about me as far as like what, you know, that channel and everything. And I was on with everybody, Angry Man and Obsidian and O'Shea and all of them, right? this is how good I was with this, like not getting doc shit. I was so good that this was back when I didn't have a I didn't show my face. I was just an avatar.
Sure.
Nobody knew who I was. I was just basically did nothing but uploads. It was Google Hangouts, and I just had an avatar, and it was like the avatar was like an African like dude with a lion, and I used to come on with like it was drums, and it was like a lightning strike.
Got it.
And basically, like nobody knew exactly who I was. They just knew I was like in Chicago.
Kind of like a Shango thing, then. I mean,
Yeah. They
Yeah.
didn't know who the hell I was. Like the last time I knew before I, kind of things went haywire and stuff in my life was that Cerulean was like I was like kind of like really I was real tight with BGS as far as like history, intellect, conversation, stuff like that, and debating and stuff. And Cerulean came in, and I stepped back and I was like, oh, okay, Cerulean, he's actually a sociologist. He's got a background.
Sure.
He was trying to figure out who I was, but he didn't know who I was. But he ex-Navy, submarine guy, intelligent. I thought he was going like ascend to a higher level, but come to find out, I think they said he got tight with like some people that like people didn't like in the manosphere or whatever.
Yeah. It was
And
somebody I remember back then.
He kind of like kind of angered a lot of people or whatever. But he came through around 2017 when we was doing the Coliseum.
Sure.
But yeah, then I nixed that channel, and then I came back in 2018, and this was my financial channel that was kind of lying dormant. So I just been using this ever since, and I showed my face on here, so I had to kind of like I could have deleted all of my other videos, but I was making money off of them. So
sure. I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you, man. Yeah, it's man, I got a lot of love for this space. And it's weird because we don't talk about money enough in this space. And the weird thing is the people that talk about money and capitalism in any case, like I said before, like there's no support here, and by the way, shout out to Dollar Will. I mean, if anybody watches this, I think there's like 4 people that are gonna watch this. Shout out to Dollar Will. Shout out to Jonathan. Shout out to you, of course. And,
I talked to Jonathan. We talked. It's been a minute because I've been just working and stuff. Jonathan's doing his own stuff, man.
Yeah.
On like kind of like entrepreneurial world. But I have to see what he's up to. But I do. Yeah, I go back to the money, but sometimes I tear away, and I'll tell you why I tear away from the money. Because it's not necessarily all about the money either, because it is some social issues that are wreaking havoc that I speak
without
about,
a doubt.
Such as like pretty much it's a mindset issue.
Sure.
If you don't have your mind together or your mental fortitude together, even if you make money, you kind of gonna probably most likely lose a lot of it. Like for example, we got Kanye.
I agree with that.
Kanye is all I have to do is say Kanye, and that's it.
Yeah.
I don't even have to go any further.
The newest guy that we see this with is freaking Ja Morant, bro.
Oh yeah, John Morant.
Yeah, like, bro, like, you
Yeah.
know, there is a point that you're making there. You know, I understand it, and I see it. You know what I mean? It's just, but for the people, see, maybe I give this space too much credit. When I think about this space, I think about this space as a grown man space. But then again, I realize we're in the manosphere, and the funny thing is, you know, that it ain't no people that most of the people that claim they grown men in this space don't have a grown man mind when it comes to money. So, you know,
I
it
mean,
is what it is.
you got the thing is that like I said, trying to kind of once you once you're rich and famous, and definitely even if you're rich, um you can't do certain things because they're gonna figure out you're rich and then they're gonna try to exploit that fact.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're famous and you're not rich, there are some people that are famous and not rich. I mean, they're gonna do the same thing, try to kind of cancel some things that you got going on,
Sure.
uh, with various means of gossip and propaganda. Um, you gotta kind of be a tightrope, outside of, in the case of John Morant, the sport of basketball.
Sure.
You good, even Michael Jordan, he had some questionable things he did, but um John Moran is just way over the top with it,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how this is going to go as far as the future of his career and all of this, but
I think he'll be okay because he's young enough, and I
um,
think he's gonna. I think this off season he's probably gonna make some adjustments, so I think he'll be
mm,
okay.
yeah, I'm
Uh,
not I'm not quite sure, but once I do know, once the optics of once they see certain things, see you do things, like I mean, I remember they saw he was in a club and he was flashing a gun
yeah,
and
yeah,
a bunch of
yeah,
strippers.
yeah.
Well, it was a guy that wasn't even playing in the NBA that did something similar. And his name was Paul Pierce.
Oh,
Paul
okay, yeah,
Pierce
yeah, yeah.
was just a sports announcer for ESPN, and he decided to go on Instagram and get a little litty, and
Yeah,
you,
they canned him too.
yeah,
They canned him too.
yeah they can't
Real quick, man.
yeah. So yeah, that live was pretty lit, and he was fired.
Yeah,
And I mean, pretty sure he's still got money and all of that or whatever. But the thing is that NBA, ESPN, these are family, kind of venues or entertainment, venues or whatever. And being like a family show, you kind of have to be kind of like PC or um rated PG at best. That's why Charles Barkley in the 90s was like, I'm not your role model.
oh,
He
right,
did
right.
the video talking about he not your role model because and the thing is that you ain't necessarily gotta be anybody's role model, but you know, you do have a lens on you and it's
Correct.
always watching. And when you dealing with, like I said, sports, like all sports are like that. They're family venues.
Correct.
So when you out of pocket and you're doing stuff that you're trying to, it seems to me that John Morant is trying to mimic rappers,
the life of a rapper. And he's not the first NBA player, young or old, that tried to do that. The name comes to mind, Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
You know,
See, but this is the interesting thing about some of these dudes, though. Some of these brothers don't understand that they done past that stage.
yeah.
See, because a lot of these rappers, a lot of these singers, a lot of these entertainment people.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, like, their career turns off and turns on and turns off in a blink of an eye sometimes. Like you everything 1 second, you nothing another second. And the other thing is, like, they got a better revenue model than most of these rappers do. Like, their contracts are better, their terms are better, their endorsements are better. Like, they're what rappers wish they were. Most of these rapper dudes is wishing they could smell one NBA check for 1 year, like a $10 million contract. Most of these rappers can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got to understand that guys like Jay and guys like 50, they a minority in a huge ocean of talent, bro. They're like 1% of the entire industry. You know, most of these guys turn into like street rappers, and then they have like a failed career, and then they go back to doing normal shit, like, you know, working at Walmart or working at UPS or something like that, feeding their family. That's literally what happens to most of these guys.
Yeah. It pretty much does. Like, that's what happens a lot of times. You know, you would think, like, wow, somebody that went to the NFL and went to the Super Bowl, like somebody like Plexico Burrs, they would, even with the gun charge and all of that, they would have, probably been, kind of that greatness. Would have extended a long time, but unfortunately, it really hasn't. Last time I saw Plexico Burrs, he was on some sports channel that was like really small, and just talking about, the events that happened with the gun charge and everything. And I was like, wow.
And the Plexico Burrs thing was kind of a tragedy, because the thing is, like, he did himself all the hurt in the world, like, because his own gun went off.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It was completely accidental. It was like the freak accident that happened to the brother. Shit.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, I don't know. I guess, like, people think that somebody's gonna kill them. That's why you got a gun. I can understand that.
I can understand that.
But then here's another thing, and I've talked about this before. You're a multimillionaire, which is extremely rare. A lot of people don't understand when you're young, and I guess you come from nothing, you don't understand how rare that actually is.
Right.
You don't fit in. Let's just face it. These guys don't fit in with the standard, quote unquote, multimillionaire. Yes or no?
Yeah.
They don't fit in. They don't fit in with your standard multimillionaire. So the next segment down is basically just regular folks. So instead of going to the clubs where the multimillionaires are at, which is probably country clubs, they go to the club in the hood or downtown Chicago or wherever, where it's just regular Joes that are at this place. And then next thing you know, like Antoine Walker, they used to play for the Celtics, and even Paul Pierce, they getting robbed outside the club with their chains, and Antoine Walker, he got robbed so much because he was living in Chicago. They followed him home and duct taped him and robbed him at gunpoint, took everything he had out of his house. Because these guys, they don't know about the actual concept of actually getting rich. They just got it overnight.
Correct. It's interesting. Some of these people are accidentally fortunate. I mean, accidentally in the sense that, like, typically you would think, like, man, like, they're not supposed to have what they have, and that's why sometimes it falls off the way it does, because they got some money, but culturally in some ways they're not particularly I'm trying to put the right words here. They're not culturally congruent to the money they have. They're culturally congruent to what their buddies used to do in the neighborhood and like what they grew up with. You know what I'm saying? Because if you think about it, considering that they're financially at a spot that's 15 steps ahead, you would think that the next step would be to hang out with some Arab sheikhs or some British magnet, or some kind of European magnet or some. What I'm saying is that's the next step in wealth, right? You're making $20 million a year. The next step for you is to go hang out with somebody that's making 200 million over their career, or a couple $1 billion. That's the next step in wealth. But the interesting thing is maybe they don't feel like they're culturally congruent to go there, or there might be some things stopping them from doing that. But looking at it from a particular numbers perspective, that would be their next move.
That's basically saying the same thing that I just said.
Yeah.
It's basically, I disagree with the accident part, because, like, for example, if you take a Plexico Burress, Antoine Walker, Eddie Curry from the Chicago Bulls that went to the neighboring high school that I went to, these guys they knew they were possibly going to, at the very least, play Division I NCAA basketball from the time they were in grammar school. In the case of Plexico Burress, not sure his story, but I think he was pretty talented in high school. But these guys now, Plexico, I'm not quite sure on it, but I'll definitely say Antoine Walker, Eddie Curry. You can even add Allen Iverson is doing all right, but even Allen, he wasn't necessarily a shoe-in, because he got into some legal trouble when he was in high school at a bowling alley. But you got, you could even say Ben Gordon, that used to play for the Chicago Bulls, that he got into, he's kind of doing real bad. Or even you could say the guy that slept with LeBron James' mom.
Delonte West
West. Yeah. I mean, it was like basically pretty much those guys, they had the multi-million-dollar contracts and everything, and they were kind of somewhat shoe-ins to, these are some of these players, McDonald's All-Americans, so it was a strong chance that they probably might reach the NCAA level, if not NBA level, which they did ultimately reach and made million and had multi-million-dollar contracts. But it's like what you said. I mean, I don't think it was necessarily an accident. It was a good lucky. I'll say it was kind of like a luck of the draw.
Sure.
But
Sure.
these guys, like I said, I mean, like you said, we agreed. Like they're not from that culture of upper class, upper middle class community where they are surrounded by people that are groomed to be, wealthy. They're coming from these people are coming from the struggle, from a lot of times at the very least a kind of like mid-grade city or kind of middle class city or working class city. Or worse, like Antoine Walker, he came definitely from the hood. Eddie Curry, he came from Calumet City, which was not necessarily the hood, but it ain't no like nice place to live either, like where you ain't gonna have no issues whatsoever. You go if you move to Calumet City, you gonna have some issues. Trust me. Cal City it goes down in Calumet City. Anybody from Chicago knows, Minister Jap knows about Calumet City. Uh, you know, and the thing is that these guys they're not trained in personal finance. um they don't know how to do a lot of things when it comes to business, when it comes to personal finance, and they just basically go to their peer group, which is regular individuals that at the very least have a job, just your standard people that you'll be at, see at a nightclub.
Correct.
Scammers, drug dealers, people, with the day off or, on the weekend having a good time. And it's like once you become a multimillionaire, they don't realize how important that is until after they, have lost the money. Like that.
The interesting thing is, I think something I was thinking about this. The way that America socializes people to be in certain ways also has something to do with this as well. Because, depending on your neighborhood, different other factors, et cetera, like we're taught to think a certain way based on where we are and where we are financially, who we deal with, race and class issues. There's that part of the deal that brings some of that stuff in there too. Like we're taught to think certain ways based on certain things that we see or certain things we interact with. So that's a part of it as well. America does some of that stuff to us because we live here, and so there is that piece. I usually don't talk about it because it's not usually something that comes up, but in this case, it would make sense that that's a part of it as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just basically it is absolutely a big deal to achieve that level of being a millionaire, to achieving that even to be honest, forget millionaire. I mean, you know, how about just making over $100,000 a year?
Man,
I mean, just that. Just Like if people absolutely knew how rare certain like stats are when it comes to earnings, um they would realize, oh, this is a big deal, you know.
Correct.
And it's like a lot of people in that, and you see that basically on Kevin Samuel's show, as far as like people not knowing, um like as far as like how much people made and whatnot. They thought, the women thought that it was an abundance of men that were quote unquote high value men, or men that made over six figures. They thought it was just like swimming with these guys. And when they realized it was less than 10%, um, they were like, wow, okay, I didn't know that, you know. And then they kind of, their mind was just busted and blown to the fact that it is not so many people making, this amount of money, this quote unquote six figure earnings, as people thought.
Correct.
So now that people kind of know somewhat, they're like, okay, well, um, it's still a lot of people that still don't know. Not everybody necessarily, still knows that. And when it comes to making $1 million or more, I mean, you're talking like
Oh man, yeah.
zero 0.01%.
Correct.
So like this is let me see here. Let me share this for purposes of conversation to show kind of what that looks like, as far as like let's just look at the top 1%. Then we go into where Alonzo lives, to where you're talking about Connecticut. The top 1%, the wages jumped astounding
Oh
20%
my
between
God.
2009 and 2009.
896.
Huh?
Shit. No, I'm reading that.
Okay.
It's 896.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. About 896 is like, yeah. So that's 1%. That's the 1%. So like when you go up further, so yeah, the 1% is looking at about, and that's in Connecticut, about a little shy of $1 million. Um, and it says the income of the top 1% varies. Forbes reported in 2022 that the bracket's minimum net worth is much higher, a cool 11.1 million to be in the 1%, according to Forbes. So then you go to top 5%, and now you're talking at about 324,000. To put that in perspective, like I remember one of my homies, his wife, his ex-wife, now she was before she made partner, this is about how much she was making as a lawyer in Chicago, about $324,000. So that's in today's money. I'm pretty sure by now she probably made partner at her firm, probably making over $1 million
Yeah.
now. Top 5% income is $324,000. So as we go up, top 10%, and this is the 10th percentile,
Yeah.
you're talking about a little over $100,000.
Yeah. 133.
So I mean, that's top 10%. That's just once you get into NBA contract like John Morant, you talking about over $10 million,
Oh
$100
man,
million.
yeah.
I mean,
You
you're in
point zero zero zero
yeah,
zero one.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
You,
yeah,
you you are
yeah,
you are considered uber wealthy. You are
yeah.
uber elite. You're uber elite. You have no business being in some hood club anywhere in the world.
Yeah,
In the world, for perspective. I
yeah,
mean, I'm talking in the world. You have no business being nowhere near any hood, nothing other than you're basically coming to give out backpacks and basketballs and sneakers as an event to basically show some type of philanthropy.
yeah.
Being in a hood club flashing a gun with strippers, dancing on you or around you, it don't even really make sense. Just on a general sense of putting things in perspective financially, and then also it looks bad to the NBA because, like I said, the NBA has a family venue type of kind of image that they're still trying to protect. And see, that's where guys like us, it comes a conversation of being an NBA or a sports consultant to these basically these franchises and whatnot to teach these youngsters, and they already have this, about put things in perspective as far as where they actually are in life at the moment, even if they don't realize it. But these guys already have this.
Correct.
They've already had these discussions. It goes in one ear out the other because in their mind, they're still the hood dude that had to walk through the tough streets going home, from high school or whatever. Going to the store to get some, chips in a soda pop.
Right. That's where it goes back to that whole accidentally fortunate thing, because they still feel like they're still the person that they they grew up around. They still feel like they're part of that. But the thing is, they've ascended that. See, the real issue, the real thing that they really should be happy about is they won capitalism.
Yeah.
See, everybody in the United States and everybody everywhere, believe it or not, don't matter what God you pray to, what church you go to, whatever, everybody out here is trying to win capitalism. You
Yep.
done won it on one contract and you still trying to, you know, act like you can go back there. Nah, you move past that. Like, it's like,
Message.
yeah, it's like playing Mortal Kombat 1 when you're at the bottom of the pyramid. Like once you beat that stage, you don't go back down. You go fight like Shao Kahn and all them, Shang Tsung and all them guys. You don't go back to like being at the bottom of the pyramid having to go through like 15 stages and shit.
Fatality.
So, so
Yeah.
shout out to Ja, man. Look, I think he's young enough. He, I think that he's gonna be fine. He's young enough, and hopefully he's got the right support system around. This really going to make him understand what a generational opportunity he has. Just walking around and being like who he is normally. He don't got a cap and do anything for anybody else. Like he's the top of the food chain, really. Like outside of people like, Robert F. Smith or some guys like that, he's pretty up there. So he done won, man. Like what he needs to do is he needs to take his victory, you know, he needs to take all that guaranteed money and probably end up being like Cliff Kingsbury sometimes. If he want to do some of that stuff, he can go down to Thailand, a one-way trip, be a passport brother like us, and do whatever he wants to do in the off season. You know what I'm saying? Bro, you won, man.
It's like you don't understand these guys, and that's why I say. I mean, you do, but
I do.
They don't understand.
Look, I'm being utopian about this. Yeah. I know none of the stuff I'm saying is really going to happen like that, but I'm saying in a perfect world, like utopia-wise, that's really what he should be doing.
It's very difficult, and these like NBA execs and stuff like that, they know this. Like it's like overcoming. It's almost like kind of like some mindfulness exercises and mentalism, and it's just very difficult to, because it's like kind of like somebody hitting the lottery. You hear about, I mean, like the stats of people, like, I mean, what's the stats on people that win the lottery? Most of them lose all of it in like so many years. Let's see here. So according to, okay, let me share my screen real quick and go here. We kind of done with that one anyway. So this is a current stat about lottery winners. Basically 70% of lottery winners go bankrupt within a few years. So that's a pretty high percentage. You still got 30%, but if they actually break it down, probably past a few years and go to like 5 and 10, I'm pretty sure that number is probably going to go higher as far as the percentage of lottery winners that go bankrupt. But the thing is that it's kind of like somebody telling you for years that you ain't shit, and then you actually get a whole bunch of money or whatever, a fortune, and then now people are saying, damn, you're the shit. And it's like you're so used to society and even yourself telling you that you're not shit. And now you you're the shit, kind of, because people telling you, and you got a newfound fortune, but you so used to getting shitted on and people treating you like shit. Now it's like you got a whole bunch of money ain't gonna necessarily change that.
Yeah, you still got imposter syndrome about your old life. That's what it is.
Yeah, you got literally imposter syndrome mixed with basically poverty syndrome, depending on how bad it is. If it was like Antoine Walker came from the hood, the ghetto, and he got that, he was playing good high school ball. Then he went to University of Kentucky, and the rest is history.
Right.
But he had to overcome quite a bit in the mean streets of Chicago, and it's like getting a whole bunch of money and then hanging out with Michael Jordan. He said he was trying to be like Jay-Z, and that's why I said that. And this is out of his mouth recently. He was trying to mimic Jay-Z and P. Diddy and them. John Morant, I bet you John Morant is being influenced by these rappers and is listening to a lot of rap music.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, bro. Without a doubt. Yeah.
And it's like basically he's kind of like, mimicking a rich rapper, what a rich rapper can kind of get away with. Because a
Correct.
rapper, he has his own image and he's trying to sell some stuff too, but a rapper can go on tour. He's got a huge following. He can go in the club and technically get away with what John Morant kind of was doing, and it not be that much of a big deal. It might make Twitter media take out World Star Hip Hop, and then after a week or two, they're talking about somebody else. But like I said, trying to overcome in your mind, like you said, that imposter syndrome is heavy work. A lot of people don't overcome that. Some that have, like Isaiah Thomas, you can even say Shannon Sharp.
Oh yeah. The interesting thing about Isaiah Thomas is Isaiah Thomas was so gifted mentally. See, because it takes a special sort of gifted brother to come out of the shittiest situation possible and never have any inkling of doing anything but moving forward. Like Isaiah Thomas, once he got out of Chicago, he done totally got that out of his system from a financial perspective. Brother done had an all-star career, was the commissioner of the CBA, was a general manager of the Toronto Raptors. He's the trademark of what the situation should be. He's the book that everybody should follow. But we'll see whether people actually do that or not. I mean, shoot, MJ's the same way. I mean, once MJ got up under some money, oh, he knew what time it was. He knew he knew.
Michael Jordan didn't come from poverty though. He came from
Correct.
His dad was kind of lower middle class.
Correct. But what I'm saying is once you understand like the gift that you've been given, like that should be it at that point, because like the world is completely wide open to you, bro. Like these brothers can walk into doors that we can't even dream of right now.
So Isaiah Thomas, Michael Jordan, they were groomed and mentored. That's what Ja Morant actually needs, because that is the blueprint. He needs to reach out to an Isaiah and basically kind of like a mentor, and to kind of lead him in the right direction. Now, in the case of Antoine Walker, unfortunately, he followed that too, and he followed Michael Jordan as a mentor.
Sure.
And being a competitive gambler, Antoine Walker could not mimic those heavy losses and expenses that Michael Jordan incurred gambling, because Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan and Antoine Walker is Antoine Walker. Antoine Walker does not have some God-given ability to transcend the NBA and a legendary shoe line and heavy endorsements, and he did have a sizable contract for those time periods that he played, but he was not a Michael Jordan. He could not incur those heavy losses that he did. So it's kind of like you gotta be careful who your mentors are.
Yeah, I mean, in every era, there's a Michael Jordan of every era, right? And in his era, the Michael Jordan was Kobe.
Mhm.
Obviously, Kobe took a hit in terms of his endorsements after that stuff happened in Colorado. But the thing was, he was still like the torch bearer of the NBA at the time.
Mhm.
Antoine Walker was probably a, a step below that because Kobe was a superstar and Antoine Walker at the prime of his career when people were talking about him, he was at that star status. But obviously most guys can't push between being a star and a superstar because you got 4 or 5 guys in the whole NBA at once that
Mhm.
actually have superstar status.
Yeah, he was a star. He wasn't a superstar.
Correct.
Yeah, Michael Jordan was a superstar. He was just a star.
Correct.
Star basketball, power forward / center that could, move, could dribble the basketball,
Like a guard.
like a guard. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, bro.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Shout out to Antoine Walker, man. But yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah. He. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, but like I said, that's why I talk about mindfulness.
yeah,
I talk about meditation. I talk about yoga because these things, like, you gotta a lot of times you gotta close your eyes and actually think things through and actually think about how serious something is sometimes. And if you do those things and it, really, really think about something, just stop and then just, sit and just think about a scenario situation, think about your problems, and possible solutions to overcome those. Like, you'll be amazed, man, of what you can reach when you actually sit down and close your eyes and think about it. Like, um, think about how big of a deal of your situation you have. Like, I mean, even myself, I mean, I can close my eyes and think about where I come from, like, basically, you know, living on my, sleeping on my sister's couch, about 5 years ago, to, basically being in my office, in a 3 bedroom, 1 bath house with a basement that I'm renovating. Um, it's like, even this room I'm in, like, I remember it was just nothing but studs. Now I'm getting ready to, pretty much fill it with mud and tape and prep it for priming. And this was due to this book right here, the Millionaire Savings Plan. Like, this was primarily how I was able to accomplish that. I didn't accomplish that using my old methods that kind of help guide me have to live in my sister's basement, because I didn't have any money and I was, doing dumb shit, So it's like I say all of that to, like, sometimes you sit and you just be grateful. Like, I just bought a scooter a couple weeks ago, and I was just like, man, I kind of wanted a scooter for a long time, and I'm like, you know what, man, I'm gonna buy me a scooter, man. Um, even though it costs, I knew it was about $300 or $400. It's like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the trigger on this, and it was one of those things where I was like, I'm in my 40s, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna live today. I'm gonna buy this, and it was a good decision, and actually, um, scooters are good transportation. I'm in Chicago, or I work in Chicago in the Loop, and it's a nice way to zip around. Places you gotta go. Like, at one, I had to go to a lot of times. I had to go to the post office, and the post office is like about a mile away. man, I get on that scooter, I zip, 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 zip. Next thing you know, I'm there. Clocking out at about 15 miles an hour. Boom.
I hear it. Yeah, it's look, there is one thing about that book and your system that for every goal there's a reward, right?
Mhm.
And that's kind of important because uh like we get so into, okay, like let's get to this level, let's get to this level, let's get to this level, but all along the way there are some investments that you have to make in terms of you know getting that next skill that you want to get to that next spot.
Yeah.
That's really important.
Yeah. I like I said, the last week, this week was a really rough week for me, but it's one of those weeks it's gonna shape me for the next years to come, because one of the things that I started back implementing was some type of weekly schedule. Sometimes I play videos because it's something that I watched that inspired me. I live streamed 2 ago. I played a Dan Pena video in the
Yeah,
end,
yeah, yeah.
and that is actually something I started implementing. That he was talking about, where he makes a weekly schedule of some things that he's trying, some goals that he's trying to accomplish, and his agenda for the week. So I'm starting to do that again, putting a schedule and actually um taking some goals that I need to accomplish and kind of knock off, and try to get that done within a week's time, or if not, try to start it, and just put some things I need to work on, like even fitness wise, 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, hour on the exercise bike, and and I plan on gradually increasing that. And as far as what you're saying, pretty much, yeah. Once you get on a certain level, depending on how much you earn, your job is not gonna get you to that next level. I mentioned that in the book. It just is, it's a mathematical equation. You're going to have to get out of some comfort zones, or what you're normally doing, or what you're normally used to doing, to actually try to build some type of revenue stream. I don't care what it is. I'm starting to kind of not even, kind of be on YouTube. Of course, I'm starting to kind of slowly kind of watch Netflix, at least on the weekends, or trying to start back watching Netflix. And one of the things I was watching was it's called The King Collector or something like that, The King of Collectors. And it's this guy in New Jersey, kind of short guy, short white guy, and he basically runs a team of employees that they scour the United States to find collectibles that are valuable, and he puts them up for auction. So they're finding like the original Apple computer and stuff like that was built in the late 70s with Steve Jobs and um
Wozniak.
Wozniak, and whatnot. And these things are worth a lot of money, and he's worth like millions of dollars. I think he makes like 40 million a month or something like that, like 10 million or something, some crazy figure as far as what he makes a month. So it's stuff like that, like buying some rare shoes and reselling them, or going to the flea market and looking for finds.
Yeah.
uh get building up some type of inventory. Like I be honest with you, before I went on live, I'm getting emails. You sold this on eBay. You this buyer just paid you this. I don't talk about it much, but I make part of my supplemental income is that I make money off of eBay. And I plan on trying to scale that. And I've been talking about that for years, but I'm going to eventually start scaling on eBay to where I have a whole bunch going on and a whole bunch of listings going on at the same time. I just got to try to put up some type of action plan to do that. But it's like steps like that that will be all the difference in you getting higher up these steps. Because
There's okay, so since you brought that up, I don't know if you know this channel or not. On YouTube, there's a guy. Uh, if you look up a channel called Daily Refinement, right? On YouTube, that guy was like a $3 million seller on eBay.
That sounds like something I've already. That sounds familiar.
He's like an Asian dude. He's like a Chinese dude and stuff. His name's Chris. But yeah, he's like one of the big guys at eBay in terms of like how to do it and stuff like that. But the interesting thing about e-commerce is there's more to e-commerce than eBay. Like back when I was doing e-commerce and probably when you were doing e-commerce, it was eBay and Amazon and that was it. We didn't have OfferUp, we didn't have Facebook Marketplace, we didn't have Let Go, you didn't have, I mean, you had Craigslist, sure, but we got so many selling channels now. You got Mercari, you got Shopify. Like when I was first getting into selling on e-commerce, the only thing that was around was eBay. When I stopped selling on e-commerce, we had eBay, Amazon, and Shopify. We didn't have all these channels, bro. It gets weird on these channels because you got like 5 or 6 channels you're dealing with. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely some money there.
Yeah, I used to sell on Amazon right before it got real big, before it got just turned into this like big, huge Godzilla, right? Yeah. Where they were kind of very similar to eBay as far as things. Now, like, okay, when I was selling on Amazon, you could just load an item up, put the description. If you got the US UPC number, fine.
Correct.
If you don't,
correct.
And then it was like kind of, it wasn't really that thorough as it is now. Like you could literally put stuff up there. You didn't have to do all you have to do now. Like now, and you could make legitimate money. Like you could make more money. It might take you longer to sell the item than it would eBay. But when you sold it, you will get more money that you would off of eBay if you sold it. Now I just reestablished my Amazon account recently, and I'm gonna tell you, it's totally different.
Yes,
it's good and it's bad. The good is that you have to be legitimate in all aspects of your actual Amazon store, meaning you have to have invoices of items that you purchased. You have to have like brand, like if you sell a particular brand, you have to like show certain documentation or get brand approval. It's like really, really crazy now. And I just it's mind blowing how much red tape is involved with Amazon now. Some people are saying they still killing it off of Amazon. I believe, I'm pretty sure they are, but I'm gonna be honest with you, eBay still like the Wild Wild West. I mean, you can buy something, or you can have some shit laying around your house, take some pictures, add a description as best as you possibly can, load it on eBay, list it, and boom, somebody might buy it, somebody might not. I mean, I'm talking within possibly even the first day of you listing something, you can sell it. Okay. eBay does not necessarily have the same stock fluctuations like Amazon has, because Amazon has all kind of other entities such as AWS, such as all these other companies that is bought out, as well as other services as well. So it's this big monstrosity of a company, and eBay still this fledgling e-commerce brand that has some companies that is bought out, but it's kind of like the tortoise and the hare concept, where eBay is just still the tortoise. But yeah, I'm making money off of eBay. Okay, I'm making a little little money every month off of eBay, and I'm been talking about scaling for a while, but I'm just saying, for example, these are the things that you might have to implement to make some money to do something different other than your job. Another thing you mentioned was Shopify. I use GoDaddy for my
your hosting,
my businesses that I host, like Owls Herbs, and my computer businesses and stuff like that, my startups, right? And I've been thinking about, like, maybe I should just radicalize and just go to Shopify, because Shopify has a lot of tools and resources that it has implemented within Shopify that GoDaddy doesn't necessarily have. And I was actually thinking about doing that, but stuff like that, you might want to look at opening up a Shopify store. You might, yeah, like you say, you doing something, whatever you're doing. You could be a bookkeeper or something. You might want to go to school, take some night classes, and get your become a CPA. I've been talking about my course. I mean, I'm not sure who, as far as who listens to me and what they're earning is and whatnot, where they are in America, but I made this boot camp course, and it's like I made it for people that want to possibly get into IT. And it's fine. I made it as a resource that somebody can utilize, and I'm pretty sure they will. But it's like, here's the thing, you got this course that literally gets you in the game, because it comes with a certain level of mentorship by me, and I'm going to give you certain information to where you can start right away. But I don't know. I mean, statistically, a lot of people are in this range here. We already know very few people are up here. So if you're anywhere between this line right here, and you're not already in IT, obviously you wouldn't be in IT and be in here. If you're in IT, you're gonna be in between this line here, under this 50K, all the way up to here. So you got people that actually, like you said, let's go back to this space, or let's go back to YouTube, or just people online in its totality.
And that's a level 1 support person, at that 50K level.
Yeah,
You know,
that's level one.
yeah,
This
yeah,
is entry level. This
yeah, that's level one.
Yeah, this is entry level right here. But statistically, I know statistically that people are within this range here. Especially, unfortunately, black people in America. Unfortunately, I know the stats.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't know who listens to me, but if you're in this level here, I know for a fact you're not in IT. Now you might not think IT is necessarily, you know, your up your alley, but if you are considering it, and you are listening to me and you know about me, why not get the course? I mean, it goes back to here. Here's the thing, unfortunately, Iori, it goes back to the NBA thing and the imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, it being a level one IT entry level kind of course, people still think that they're not qualified to just get right into it and actually do that.
Right.
Even though I work with people that this is their first IT job, I'm way overqualified for my current position. And that's why I'm trying to move up. And along with me moving up, I wanted to just kind of help others kind of, that are below here kind of move up and get into IT and kind of get in between here and then advance upward. But because of imposter syndrome, because of even arrogance, they don't want to take heed and actually invest in themselves to try to get up here and then take somebody's course or whoever and try to get into something to make them some money.
Yeah, it's awkward because I'm on the West Coast. I got buddies who live in Oakland. Oakland is probably like 45 minutes away from Silicon Valley. It's as close as you can get to being in Silicon Valley without being in Silicon Valley. Because in San Francisco, that's how it is. My best friend from there, he works in security for a company called Allied Universal. And I keep telling him because he keeps telling me, man, like they ain't paying me this, that, and whatever. I'm like, bruh, like get into IT. And some of us got this whole thing, hey man, like what if I get into IT, but it's not my passion? Like I get that thrown at me a lot, you know. And I'm like, well, you working at Allied Universal, is that your passion, or you just stuck doing it? And so what I tell him is, look, if I was stuck doing IT versus stuck doing Allied Universal, I'd be stuck doing IT because at least it pays better, you know. But the thing is, like some of us believe in all that like fairy dust shit about like, hey man, I gotta be passionate, I gotta love what I do, and sometimes like that's gonna get you fucked. like, I don't know how else to put it, bro. Like
Yeah, I mean
it's
delusion,
awkward.
delusion kills a lot of dreams and kills a lot of people actually
Yeah,
every day. Delusion. Oh yeah, I can fight the whole world.
yeah, and it's weird because I'm like, bro, look, all you gotta do is you gotta go on Udemy or someplace like that, get you a little A+ course or something like what you're talking about right here. Yeah, man.
It's
Like
even
go.
worse. It's even worse, I worry. Um, I did this entire course for free for like a month. All you had to do was just basically know the course was going on and you could have caught it. I pretty much did it every Wednesday. I mean, every Monday at about between 7 and 9 o'clock, pretty much 8 o'clock, 8:30, every Monday for about a month. And a couple people checked in, a couple people viewed the videos and stuff like that. And I literally told them, I was like, every live stream, I'm unlisting the video because this is for a course. If you just so happen to catch me actually video live streaming the course, you just caught a free course.
Right. Yeah, I was on one of those because you were saying I'm not gonna respond to the chat because I'm doing something important. Like I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, I was literally doing a video course because basically I was trying to fast track it so I can put it up because I know how I am. I'm a procrastinator just like anybody else.
Yeah, just like everybody else.
I would probably take me 4 or 5 months, 6 months or longer to actually do it if I don't, just go ahead and do it. Yeah. So that's why I did it the way I did it. So it's just like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the it's like the kind of the what we were talking about as far as like, the security guard, the guy that security guard. Yeah. I actually, before I got into IT, that's what I was doing actually.
Okay.
I was working. Actually, no. I got out of security and I started working at UPS.
Okay.
And then after UPS, I went into IT. Yeah. Actually, not even IT. No. After UPS, I went into being a teacher's assistant.
Okay.
Then I went into IT. Then that was my like progression in the IT. So yeah, I remember working security and working, standing up and walking around doing my checkpoints.
Yeah.
I mean, and this was back when I didn't have a record and I could get anything that I could. They couldn't tell me anything. Drug test pass, background check pass, no problems whatsoever. Right. And the thing is that there's a multitude of opportunities out here. The difference between Udemy is you take a Udemy course, even if you take an A+ course or whatever, which, that's fine. You go take that, you pass the A+, you could go try to look for a job. I fast track all of that. I've been doing this, bro, for 15 years.
Sure.
You don't even need an A+.
Sure.
And I know it. You know why I know it? Because I don't have A+.
That's right.
I took the course. I never actually completed the actual took the test.
Yeah. What you really need is you need the skills inside the A+.
Yeah.
You don't need the A+ in general. You need
You need the experience. See, I'm gonna just give some trade secrets away. Some of these companies, they just need actual bodies sometimes. I've worked projects where, let's just say like a company, they went all to contractors. They gutted out their actual full-time company employees and they went all to contractors. They just needed bodies at that point. They were going to train you whatever you needed to know. They actually know, okay, we're going to have some expert level guys like pretty much the Broke Genius and, other guys that already have experience. They'll train these guys that don't have the experience on what they need to know. And then every day they'll, eventually get on, they'll get it together as far as they'll gain some experience and they'll know what they're doing, after a few months. They'll basically sink or swim. And that's literally what happens. But people actually, because they watch TV, they listen to They listen to their bum uncle or whoever, their dad. No, you gotta have this, and you gotta go to MIT and Harvard to get an IT. No, you have to be an engineer at DeVry to actually get an IT. No, you don't. Like most people already kind of have some type of level of expertise to where they kind of already technically savvy with just some kind of like point in the right direction. You literally get into IT overnight. Some people need more training. And then I provide all of that. I provide some links for like free training pretty much and stuff like that. But it's like the most valuable thing about this course is that you get to contact me.
Correct.
I had to establish friendships and stuff like that over 15 years ago. The people that were more experienced than I am. And that's how I learned. I'm basically kind of giving you, like, kind of putting you on. That's like this, the course has the details and stuff in it too, but it's like I'm literally, it's kind of like you're paying for me to kind of put you on, put you in the game. It's not really, it is a course, but it's more like me just putting you on in the game and kind of like mentoring you to like get started, kind of work along with your trials and tribulations of trying to land your first job, telling you what you need to do to put on your resume. I'll help with all of that. And that's what I'm doing. And it's like Udemy doesn't do that. The little $10, $20 course at Udemy doesn't do all that.
Correct.
That guy probably, or whoever did that course or whoever does the course, ain't got time for all of that. It ain't probably gonna do all that. I mean, I don't know. So I didn't have this done to me. What I had to do was actually I did go to college. I did go to university. I took a lot of sleep, hard nights, sleepless nights, a lot of brain, headaches and skull crunching, headaches and migraines trying to figure stuff out. I didn't have any course or anybody, necessarily offering to put me on the IT or anything like that. I mean, a lot of stuff out here is like they just giving away stuff. Even it's like you say, like, I mean, they got stuff for free. They got, I mean, technically, if you really wanted to get an IT, ain't nothing stopping you.
Don't tell them that, bro. Don't tell them that. We both know that, but sometimes the narrative don't like that, man. Come on.
Yeah, I'm a bad salesman.
In this space,
I'm a bad salesman sometimes.
Look. I ain't gonna tell people how I'm getting my cloud certificates and all that. The library, but my library membership got all kind of memberships on it. So Coursera, Udemy, LinkedIn Learning, like all the stuff that I would ever need. Like it's in my library membership. So I don't know what to tell people. Like, in terms of like my I mean, I'm not doing it, but I was looking at my library catalog. If I wanted to get into data or something like that, they got stuff for data too, like IBM certifications and stuff. So yeah, like if you want to be a part of it, yeah, it's there. It's there. So, but yeah, look, Black Brain Trust was saying something. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna bounce because I gotta wake up tomorrow at some point. Black Brain Trust was saying that like we're on the right track because everybody that does what we're telling them to do in terms of getting into IT, whether it's stuff that we're talking about here or whether it's stuff they're talking about there, that the positive outcomes are documented, you know. But in a sense, I was talking with Dollar Will, like, look, we all know what the deal is. You know what the deal is. Dollar Will knows what the deal is. Complex. I mean, the people that know already know. It's just a matter of a cultural shift now. And I think eventually that cultural shift is going to happen. I'm a little bit more optimistic than most people, you know, but it is what it is. I think eventually, like, you know, everybody's going to get their piece out of this fourth industrial revolution piece. So
Well, I mean, this is the thing with me. I'm using my own advice. You know,
Yep.
I'm already making gains and you know, doing things that I wanted to do. Like I said, the scooter thing, man, I've been wanting to buy a scooter for a while, man. I mean, I'm not tripping as far as I'm really not tripping as far as, like, you know, of course I'm not making a lot of money off of YouTube like somebody else, even people with less subscribers than me. But I'm gonna tell you this, I'm doing quite a bit, you know, as far as like with my different streams of income, and I'm planning on scaling those things, and I'm following my own advice, and you know, I'm not trying to really. I'm trying to sell you, but you know, I'm trying to sell people, but I'm really like kind of coming at it from an angle of, you know, I'm already getting this money, and you know, I really would like you to get it. I don't really know. Like I said, I don't know where people are at. I know stats wise, a lot of people are within this range of kind of middle class and poor. It's very much not that many people up here. You know, if you are on the poor side between poor and middle, I can help you with that. You know, that IT support course will get you higher up here, at least in the middle. And then you can go from there, you know, within a year or two, you can go to, like you say, data, you can go to networking, you can go into software engineering or web development. You can go a lot of different places in IT, you know. You can start your own freelance company. You know,
this space, another spot a lot of people are going to is cloud. A lot of people run into cloud, bro. A lot of people run into cloud. So yeah, that's another spot you can go into, and that's probably where I'm gonna focus in the next. God, probably the next 6 months, I'm probably gonna knock out some of these AWS.
Yeah, I gotta get my take my AWS SAA exam. I gotta prep for it.
You going for the same one I'm going for? I wasn't gonna say it. There you go. There you go. Yeah, man. That's the spot right there. You get that SAA, it's all the way over, bro. Like for real. Because if you're trying to do something like I'm trying to do, like that's the entry point for a lot in cloud, bro. You know, I messed around with data and did some of that for a little bit, but I mean, if we're gonna say like web development, front end, back end, all that kind of stuff, then you got data. I honestly like cloud better than all of it, but then again, that's my bias talking. So it is what it is. But yeah, bro, make it happen, man. Make it happen.
I am, and then I ain't even talked about real estate. I mean, you know, I'm working out this one, and I'm trying to buy some more properties. It's you know it's all about scaling at this point. You know, I'm definitely trying to scale up. I'm not coming on here talking about buy my course and begging or anything like that. I'm like, basically, I don't know where. Like I say, I don't know where you at, but if you kind of looking to get into IT, I know how to get you in. That's
I'm
it.
I'm at step 7, so
Oh, okay.
I'm
Excellent.
at
Excellent.
step 7. So yeah, we not there yet, but we not at step 9, but we probably probably a little bit more than step 7 right now. So
Oh, that's
where we're
great.
at.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at with things, but I gotta fix this house and sell it first.
There you go.
But I'm still trying to kind of, before I do that, I want to buy another one or two more houses, and then kind of just use this one as a base, and then fix the other two up or three, and then just kind of have me a real estate portfolio, and then I might be able to kind of exercise to where I can get to 9 and then possibly move to 10. So I'm trying to just kind of use real estate to leverage up the ladder, and then also stocks. I'm focusing on stocks, options, eventually shorting, real estate, possibly even trying to get back into forex. Yeah, and kind of hitting some home runs, and then also at the same time, get my shelves together and buying inventory, organizing my inventory I already have, and loading it up on eBay. And then, of course, man, I need some help possibly too. I'm not getting sales off of my websites. I'm trying to figure out how I can, I got these herbs, and I'm selling them on eBay, but I'm just kind of not. I'm getting some hits because I got Google AdSense with my website, but I'm not like getting any sales. Like I just never really could crack into e-commerce as far as like I haven't really cracked into it, man. Like I should be. And I think I know. I have some things that I've written down that I'm gonna work on, but yeah.
I got you. Yeah, man. Like as far as I'm gonna tell you, man, like I'm with you on the millionaire savings plan. That's why every time we talk, I always ask you what step you at. So yeah, man. Look, at the end of it, it works like this. Which one out of the two of us is gonna get our castle first? Because I know you a castle man. You know what I mean? You always be talking about castles. So let's make it happen, bro. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's go get Alice Chateau. You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is, bro. There you go. Yeah. I mean, you gonna get yours first, or am I gonna have to get mine first? That's all. Little friendly rivalry, but I got you. And by the way, because you're gonna be the guy that's gonna be doing some of that extra mentorship and stuff, I'm gonna see if I can't get you a couple clients and stuff. But before I do, I'm gonna make sure they ain't full of shit. So,
all they got to do is get the course. I don't really like. if you buy the course, you know, I got my contact information. They can contact me as much as they want. It's on you if you want to do something or not, because I'm gonna give you right away. I gave a couple homies that college homies, my details and stuff, and I don't know what they're gonna do with it. I really don't know. I think a lot of people, like I said, the biggest thing with folks is the imposter syndrome. You know, um, it just a major hurdle. Even with me, I mean, I'm overqualified in my current position, and I'm decided I'm no longer going to accept that role anymore. I'm not any new roles from here on out is something of a higher position. I'm not going to take any more like IT support like roles like that. It's gonna have to be something on the infrastructure side,
Sure.
or a lead at the very least, or a management position, because I'm way overqualified and I know I am, and I know what I'm doing. So
That's the next step in the ladder financially for where you're at in IT, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But yeah, before I leave, bro, since you brought up Dan Pena, check out a guy named Roland Frazier. You know, Dan Pena does some of that mergers and acquisition business buying stuff. Roland Frazier does that too, and he has like boot camps where he teaches you how to buy some of that stuff. That's kind of like one of the things I'm working on, especially in this space, because what we really need is more black owned businesses that have like, I'm not talking about a small business. I'm talking about like buying a bunch of small businesses and then making it like a little bit of a conglomerate. Because look, that's the difference between what these white folks do and what most other people do. Like, you know, we all do business in one way or another. These white folks just know how to integrate their shit and basically make it, you know, sell it for basically buy a bunch of, let's say, laundromats, hold it for 24 months and sell it for a goddamn multiple. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. They're putting it in a holding company, holding it for 24 months. You know, once the numbers look stable and stuff like that, they're dropping it on somebody. They're dropping that shit.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, you know, check out Roland Frazier, bro. And since you brought up Dan Pena, I'm gonna throw that to you, and I'm gonna get some sleep and stuff like that. But I got you.
Okay.
You know, we'll be discussing certain things.
Okay, for sure.
All right, brother.
All right, bro.
I talk to you, man. I gotta get some sleep because I got a meeting with Dollar Will tomorrow. So, you know, we gonna be chopping it up on them charts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And shout out to anybody, if anybody really wants to like do some of that stuff, just check out Dollar Will, man. If you want to.
Yeah, check out Dollar Will, man.
Kind of do some of that, you know, like, yeah. I mean, Dollar Will. I mean, whenever I get pissed off about the manosphere and the fuck shit we talking about out here, it's guys like you and Real Deal and Dollar Will that makes me want to even stay in this space. Because sometimes knowing what I know, I feel overqualified even being in this space.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I fired up Alive. I know every now and again, I'm overqualified for these guys that's talking. Yeah. I'm gonna just fire up Alive.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I got you. But
yeah, it's working out. It's working. I see it's it's kind of filling the void, you know.
Yeah, man. Look, we
pisses some more people off too at the same time, because like, who does this guy think he is? What you trying to say? You know,
it is what it is, man. Like 90% of this space is who the hell is this person anyway? Because we don't even pay attention to good people in this space.
For real.
So, all right, brother. I
All
talk
right.
to you.
All right.
Much love to you, brother.
Yep. So that was Aori, and he's been rocking with me for a minute. Now it was just a thing where, I mean, like he was saying, I mean, it's people that's kind of stuck, kind of doing stuff, doing tasks that, they don't necessarily enjoy. And they're talking about what they want to do, but they haven't self-improved yet, um they're still working on it. And then it happens. I get stuff from other guys that's in IT that's above me as far as what they're actually doing as far as their actual roles and whatnot. And I'm trying, like I said, I'm a work in progress myself, but like I said, my IT support course is my way to get you in the game if you're not already in it. You know, if you still working at the Piggly Wiggly, you probably want to get my IT support course, because like I said, I mean, it might be somewhere where you're living it doesn't necessarily might not have that many jobs, but you can work remote. There's a lot of remote roles. Working remote now, all you need is a laptop and a cell phone, and of course the skill set to do the job, of course. And it's just certain things that is available now that was not available years prior. So, like I said, it's up to you for you to be that self improvement. It's up to you to make that decision for you. Unfortunately, I've already been through the fire and I'm still going through the fire. And I've already made that choice. I've already made that decision to get into IT over 15 years ago, and I've already done so. And it was one of the best decisions that I made, um, because the thing is that one of the things I'll tell you about having a skill and a career that's in demand is that when you're needed, they need you. It's not too many people around that could do what you can do. And I mean, it kind of blows your head up a little bit, because you're in situations to where basically they need you to do the job, and it's not too many people that can do it at the particular time. And that's called having skills, versus just you being somebody that just picks up boxes all day. you know you actually knowing how to do certain things technically is in demand and it's needed. And it kind of boost your head a little bit to have actual skills that companies need, and then you could make more money. I like to, so I'm graphic, sometimes. And I'll say it again. I mean, when I go take a bathroom break, I make $8. When I go use the bathroom, I make $8, which is I think, what is that, minimum wage or something like that. So yeah, if when I go to lunch, pretty much I've already made 3 times what somebody would make it working at probably a grocery store, working bagging groceries at some grocery store. when I go to lunch. So it's not so much even about how much you make, but it's about just having tangible skills that could, kind of help you pay for your expenses. Because one of the things about it is a lot of us, like I say, are in the trenches. You know, um, you might even be disabled where you just getting a crazy check, and you're trying to get off of it so you can get back in the war. you know, um, the thing is that it's not so much about money getting out of the trenches. Okay, it's not a money thing. Um, it's more about where your debts are. You know, um, your debts have you in the trenches. This is why I'm averse to car payments. I'm averse to anything that's not making you wealthy in the long run. I'm averse to it, such as being a long-term renter. Um, I'm averse to anything that will keep you in the trenches. Basically, because you know, I myself am in the trenches, but I'm moving towards being financially free. Okay. What is being financially free? Let me put that in perspective. It's wealth. It's having basically your income for at least 20 years. Whatever your expenses are now, have it for let's say, for example, your expenses is $20,000 a year. So you take $20,000 a year and you times that by 20 years. But you really, for the fire movement, you're supposed to do 20,000 times 25 years. You're supposed to go in 25-year increments. And I know why. And I think because if you just do 20 years, it's always better to do over than under. So for example, it's always better to have um overstock the ship versus understock the ship. Because if you understock the ship, then get stranded out at the sea, you won't have no food to eat. If you overstock it, then you'll have some surplus, and then you'll have some food to survive in case you get stranded. You know, so that nets to about $500,000 a year. I mean, $500,000 in some type of money market, or Lonzo Hall, a whole life insurance policy or something, to where you get an income a month. You get in like a monthly income. Um, so the thing is that however you choose to, whatever financial instrument you choose to put that money in, whether it be a money market or something that's gaining interest, you wanna set it up to where you're getting like a monthly stipend of what your expenses are, which would be for 20,000, roughly a little under uh $2,000 a month. You could just say like about what 1,500 a month. And I mean, you're financially free, right? You got $500,000. You're financially free, and it differs according to your expenses. Your expenses might be higher, might be lower. This doesn't mean that you just sitting on your ass and you're not doing anything. I mean, you could do what you want to do, but you probably gonna be doing some other things, like you might be a blogger or something now, or you're just selling stuff on eBay or whatever, doing stuff on e-commerce, or you start a YouTube channel, or you go into like starting a child care facility or something like that, or whatever the case may be. You're doing something to kind of like that maybe you want to do. Maybe you wanted to do, but you was too stuck in a 9 to 5 to do it. Thus, you were stuck in the trenches to do it. And you're financially free now, and you're able to do certain things, um, kind of fun things to make money, or even just passion projects, and or maybe just you just got a couple vending machines, you got a few ATM machines, you got a few um you got a laundromat somewhere or something like that. Whatever you choose to get into, and then ultimately you want to work your way up to some type of business, maybe buy a few businesses, right? uh, and move up to the commander status, actually running like I already said, a conglomerate of businesses, and having a staff together to manage those businesses and paying them, and you just basically sit back and let the show run itself by you running it. Play that back a million times, and then if you get big enough, you be a chief commander. You know what I'm saying? $100 million, $1 billion. Have a whole franchise of businesses, or you have some type of business to where you scaled it up to be worth $500 million or $1 billion, and get on a higher level. These are all concepts that I started, what I'm saying, the concepts that I came up with in regards to where people's financial standings are in life. And the reason why I did this was because I was looking for a way in order to kind of market to people. I was kind of like, looking a way to like market to people, because what I found out was people being stuck in these trenches, they do certain things that other people don't do. And they don't necessarily, they too busy in the trenches. They buy certain things, they have certain behavioral habits and whatnot, but they stuck in the trenches, um, kind of following the herd. They don't necessarily have any money, because even if they do have money, they so busy fighting every day, going to work, going back and forth to work, hustling and bustling. They don't necessarily even have time to listen to what you have to say, because they stuck in the trenches, So I just, what I'm saying, in order to kind of help me realize kind of what people are, and where they stand, so I can kind of like kind of look into marketing purposes of who to sell to and whatnot. I came up with these concepts, so yeah, I mean, the thing is that, like I said, I'm a work in progress myself, and I got some stuff going on later today. Be making some extra income, and I would just say, one of the things I just want to kind of talk about is that don't lose your motivation. Don't lose your motivation. Whatever motivates you, sometimes basically I have to go to my goals and inspiration calendar, to kind of look and see what goals do I have that I want to accomplish, and look at my inspirational folder, and kind of just remind me of what I need to do, and what I still need to accomplish. Um, that's what I do. I use basically vision boards to basically inspire me and keep me focused. And I've already accomplished a lot of these goals. I've definitely a lot of these I've already accomplished. It's kind of, I'm gonna be honest, like I'm gonna keep it real. This might sound kind of corny. This might sound kind of corny what I'm gonna tell you, but the hardest part is I've already accomplished it. The hardest part I've already accomplished. I've already had children. I've my children is the most valuable thing that I've already, had, that I wanted. This money, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna say that it's not hard either, but the most valuable thing that I've already accomplished, I already have. You know what I'm saying? So it's literally, how I look at things. Um, Money is nothing compared to my children. So I've already accomplished that. you know um and a lot of other things I've accomplished. And on my vision board, when I accomplish something, I delete it. I delete the particular picture. you know I'm not gonna lie to you. Not gonna lie to you at all. The images, I'm looking at my vision board right now. Some of these images are explicit. These are, very, very explicit. Some people, they talk about the anti-game guys and the game guys and all that. I'm gonna tell you something. When it comes to, maybe if you having problems with the opposite sex, let's just say if you're a man and you're having problems getting women, okay? You're having problems getting women, okay? You want to utilize this vision board, okay? I'm gonna tell you why. It goes the same with, all the other stuff that I want to, get out of life. Um, when you see it, when you see what you want out of life, basically, you go out and get it. You training your eyes, you know, to see what you want out of life. So when you see it, you go get it. You absolutely go get it. I'm gonna tell you a story. So I was I was going on lunch. I was going downtown. Um, I was getting something to eat. I think it was like not this Friday, but like the Friday before last. And I saw this tall chick, man, looking at me, and I was kind of checking her out too. And I was eating my food, and you know what I'm saying? I was like, started checking me out and shit. I was like, how are you? What's your name? And she told me her name and whatnot. And I was like, well, I kind of want to get your number because I like, what I see basically. And she said she was married. And I kind of thought I saw a wedding ring, but I wasn't quite sure. I don't mess with married women. I ain't trying to mess with nobody's married woman. None of that shit. Like I stay away from married women. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is like, I shoot my shot every now and again. But yeah, it's like I'll be honest, I rarely shoot my shot, but when I do, man, you know what I'm saying, I try to only shoot my shot when there's chicks that's kind of looking at me, kind of like, peeping me out or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like that's usually how I roll. Um, but yeah, when it comes to this vision board, you know what I'm saying? As long as as long as you keep yourself up, what I'm saying? Keep yourself up. You are, attractive to some degree or another, you know. Um I mean I'm telling you, you go whatever you see, whatever you want, whatever you like what you want, you're gonna go out and absolutely get that shit. It's just no question whatsoever. You're gonna go out and absolutely get it. Because you training your brain to go out and get what you want. And you know, I mean it is what it is. And I'm not talking about you going to go buy some shit. I'm not talking about I'm about to go buy a woman. No, I mean, no, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about natural attraction. I'm actually this is what I'm talking about. I actually it's called it's a book. It's called The Secret, and it's talks about the law of attraction. And with that attraction, vision boards. You go out and you get that what you are attracted to or what you actually want, and you go out, you see it, and you go try um to actually get what you want out of life. I'm gonna keep I'm gonna be like I say, I'm gonna be personable. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be even more personable. I think I've said this before. Um, and you definitely need to control your sexual urges, okay? Definitely that's part of it, okay? You definitely need to control that shit. Some people talk about, oh, this man, at home on a Saturday night. I got kids out here, okay? I done already did the whole I've been in the pussy contest since I was 16 years old. Um I done I got trophies in that contest. I ain't got nothing to prove. I ain't got nothing more to prove. I mean, um, you know, what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, what I'm saying? It's like I don't really, what I'm saying? Like I ain't really like trying to be thirsty like that. And I don't recommend anybody else to be, any other man to be thirsty like that out there. Just so thirsty that you just running to try to get any woman you could see. But I just say this, like I remember a porno I was watching, and it was this like thick thick, light-skinned, German-looking chick, man. Big fat ass. And basically, long story short, I got the same chick. And I got that same chick that I would, same body type and everything years later. You know what I'm saying? And I shot some kids up inside her. That's a true story. So I mean the thing is that, you know, whatever you want, whatever you absolutely desire, you know, you put it in your vision board. You can edit it because it's like, you know what, I'm like, you know what I'm saying, some of this stuff I probably needed to delete. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm getting real good at, you know, kind of deleting stuff that I no longer want or desire. You know what I'm saying? So I just delete it. But you know what I'm saying? It's like that's one of my, you know, things that I know works. And it works so well. Like, I mean, it's literally amazing. It's like the ultimate cheat code. You know, it's like the ultimate cheat code. And like I say, you you go out in the world and you absolutely get it. You seek, it's like you seek what you already want, and it grounds you, um it grounds you to actually remind you what you actually working for, what you what are you trying to accomplish all of these things for. You know, I mean, of course you got children like me. I mean, of course you got to take care of your children, but you know, what I'm saying, you also want to, you know, you want other things out of life as well. You know what I'm saying, for you and your children. You know, your children might need a new stepmom. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be like, okay, who do I want? Who do I want for, you know, who do I want their stepmom to possibly be or look like? You know, gotta, you know, put that out there. You know, kind of see what you want. Um, what kind of house do you want to live in? You know, what kind of car do you want to drive? You know what I'm saying? Those are kind of visions of what your vision board should have in it, you know? So you won't be so socially awkward when you go out into the world because you've already visioned what you actually want, and you just go out and get it. You're not even shy about it. You like, oh, I didn't, that's the chick I saw that I wanted. Okay. That's she looked like a damn near probably the same woman. That's the woman I want. Hi, how you doing? What's your name? Oh, okay. What you doing later? You know, it just go out and try to get it. You know, go out. Shit, even if it's embarrassing, like you just kind of shot. You just gonna go out and get it. This the chick that's in my vision board. Let me say something. Now, I ain't saying being creepy and then just, you know, having a complete meltdown uh, because she didn't give you the digits, or, you know, she's married or some shit like that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying you see what you want, you go out and get it. That's it. And that's for everything you want. And what's gonna happen is you're gonna be surprised. You're gonna fuck around and get what you want. And you can be like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't get what the hell I wanted. And then you just gonna keep getting more and more and more. And it's like, wow, this shit works. This shit is like a magic. This is like voodoo. I can't believe this works. And it's gonna help. Like, if you get off track, sometimes you get off track. That's how life works. You gonna get off track. Life is hard. It's not easy all the time. Sometimes it gets easy, then it gets hard again. Then your dick gets hard again. And it's like, man, you gotta sometimes, even myself, I gotta go back to my goal chart and I gotta remind myself what I actually want. I kind of forget what I want. I know in generality what I want, but I gotta go back to this chart to remind myself, oh damn, yeah, I still want that. Yeah, and then what I'm saying, you get back motivated. It has another kind of like it's like a tool to get you remotivated again, because sometimes you're gonna lose motivation. You absolutely gonna lose motivation, and then you get like you just kind of get like blah, like stuck, like, wow, I know I'm doing all right, but I think I need to get remotivated. Remind myself that I need to stay in my castle, and work on my goals. I haven't been playing chess lately. You know why I ain't been playing chess? Because, man, I've been working so much. I'm tired as fuck. I ain't about to be easy meat on no chessboard. Even though I absolutely know how to play chess while I'm, exhausted and tired and shit like that. But I mean, nah, I ain't on that. Play chess when I'm, good and well, in the best condition, mentally, physically, and all of that. Like, I'm not about to be out here just losing chess matches, knowing that I'm not 100% mentally, as far as like, got the focus and everything like that. And I ain't hardly got no celebrities on my vision board. I got a couple. But it's just primarily no, it ain't. It's a couple, but it ain't like a whole bunch of like celebrities and shit like that. Hell no. It ain't even the celebrities that I even talk about. Like, I remember when I was in high school, I had a picture of Maya on my wall. Every day I used to wake up with Maya looking at me. Then I had Michael Jordan, the wingspan picture on the other side of my wall. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? I might put Maya back. I might put Maya on my vision board. I might put Maya. It's still hope, you know what I'm saying? But then that hope is dwindling. Because I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I to be honest with you, I'm gonna just tell you the truth with the whole Maya thing. I mean, a lot of y'all probably don't know, but let's just say the late 90s and the early 2000s, Maya had a lot of fun. Maya had a lot of fun, you know what I'm saying? And that fun did not involve me. That's all I'm gonna say. That fun. I was not involved in all of that fun that Maya had. With the likes of Jay-Z and all them other dudes. And it's like, once I see what I see, it's like, okay, yeah. I ain't trying to have I don't want nobody's leftovers like that. But I mean, after a while, when you get so old, you become, I mean, everybody's pretty much damn near leftovers. That's why motherfuckers want virgins and young women, because they want women that have low body counts and shit like that. But some men, like the men in like Islamic countries and stuff like that, and other countries, that's why they be wanting like 18-year-olds and whatnot, because they virgins and stuff, because they don't want nobody else's what I'm saying, leftovers. That shit is okay in certain other countries. Other countries, they'll go to war, man, to not have to deal with that shit. To be having a whole bunch of leftover women. They ain't really into that shit like that. Like, I'll never forget one of my homies, his wife was a virgin. You know what I'm saying? His wife was a virgin. She was his first and last. So like, yeah, man, I just, what I'm saying, occasionally I gotta reevaluate things, I gotta reevaluate what I actually want. And then, yeah, I don't when I go out in the world, I'm not shy about it. I'm not intimidated. I just go out and get what I want. Like, oh, I saw her before. Hey, how you doing? Well, a lot of times they looking at me already. It's like, damn. I mean, when they looking at me, that's like, goddamn, like, damn near. I'm already got. I'm halfway. I'm halfway able to sell at that point. All I got to do is mention the product. I mean, it's damn near already halfway sold. She already got an interesting lead at that point. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I just had something to say. I just yeah, like that's gonna be the title, man. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be the title when I absolutely have no topic. I know I got something to say. I just don't know quite yet, but like I said, I know I got something to say.